I'm putting this out there because I've never seen this clear of a picture. This looks like two shoes and a person sitting on their in a black hoodie with a beanie on.
And here we go.
Welcome to the Freak Show, the best in town.
If this is your first time tuning into The Hive, I'm your host, Birdie. I go live every weeknight at 7 p.m. Central, including Sunday evenings. This is a contrarian thinking live stream, so if you're easily rattled or if you're offended on behalf of others, you're not going to like me, you're not going to like the people in the chat, you're certainly not going to like what we discuss on stream. However, if you like to think past the headlines, question the narrative, maybe you're known as the tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist in your friend group, you have found your people, you are amongst friends, we encourage conversation and discussion, which I know both of those two words being conversation and discussion are some big words for some of the fluoridated idiots out there, but not for us here in the Hive. We like to go back and forth, and we don't have to just start yelling and typing buzzwords when we disagree with somebody. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. There's some new body cam footage out. You got Ashley Jennings at 1122 King Road, November 13th, 2022 at 5 p.m. with Brett Payne, who wrote the PCA, not wearing a body cam. We have to kind of balance out this aspect of, all right, well, we were told this is a 911 call for an unconscious person. There was an 8-hour delay. That wouldn't get Ashley Jennings' attention. Now, when you find out it's 4 people, possibly. But we are going to be going down this rabbit hole so damn deep this evening. I hope everybody has their tinfoil hats ready. This is no longer incompetence. That's why I have this thumbnail saying effing impossible. You can't be this dumb, this inadequate at your job, unable to perform your duties, that you just continue to stumble into all of these coincidences that line up perfectly and get tied into a bow by the media. Okay? That's what I'm here to do tonight. I'm here to let people know this is no longer a bunch of coincidences lining up. Brett Payne's PCA doesn't, I gotta calm down. Reasonable Doubter says, wouldn't DAs come to crime scene after an arrest is made and case is assigned to them first night before the scene is processed, though? Bizarre. Exactly. They didn't have, do you guys realize they didn't have a press conference for 4 days and you hear Sergeant Blaker prior to ever talking to Dylan, according to the interview statements and the documents, saying exactly what happened, saying that Dylan has a better timeline than Bethany. Ashley Jennings is there all before a press conference happens to the public where they then go and tell people this is a targeted attack. You shouldn't be worried. And then they retreat. And then you have Steve G and Christy go on Fox News and they say, why don't we use some family lineage company? And they lay out exactly what's going to happen to make an arrest, which ends up being Brian Koberger. And typically, somebody like Ashley Jennings would not be involved until an arrest is made. We have to shift our mentality going into this week. I hope that I can say this how I was hoping it would sound prior to the stream as I was preparing for tonight. We now have to wake people up to giant smoke screens where the public is told something that is so far off of what happened, where officials know behind the scenes what really did happen. There are real problems created for the public when that happens. We have a lot of stuff to go over tonight, but before we do, tap the like button, hit subscribe if you are not. And I want to give a shout out to Luna Bliss, Discord Dawn, and the UFO Dog. This is going to help not only myself out so much, this is going to help out everybody in the Hive. So Birdie's Hive Mind at gmail.com is going to be the place to try to get into contact with me. If you're not in the Discord, it's where you can send Hive Mind finds, because I saw a ton of comments from people that said they don't want to do Discord, they don't understand Discord. And ever since that hack happened, I didn't give my original email I was giving out all that much love and attention that it should have. So shout out to these 3 mods here. They are unbelievable for helping me get this up and running. So Birdie's Hive Mind at gmail.com. If you did not get a response to a Hive Mind find in the past, please feel free to resend it to that. I will be on that email as well, but it just gives you everybody the best chance of feeling like they're heard. You know, there's a lot of people that have good stuff out there. Has everybody got that? I'm going to put it full screen. Go ahead, screenshot that if you need to. What I'm going to do because of this new email going live, I had about 375 emails today to get through still, and I got through about 199 of them. I did my best. With that being said, you know what I found out? My second favorite username, UK Cheese Farmers Side Piece, sent me the reason that their name is that. Their partner grew UK cheese, and he was so dedicated, I was the side piece to the grow. And I think that is epic. And thank you so much, Beth, for the super chat. Beth says, thank you. I couldn't do Discord. I started seeing that enough times in general. I think the mods probably saw that too. So they took that on themselves to do that. And I really appreciate it. The next handful of slides comes from Simone. When I tell you, this is the clearest picture, hands down, of what anybody has ever sent me from the Banfield body camera of a person sitting in the bushes I've yet to see. I have been sent so much stuff. I've never seen this clear of a picture. This looks like two shoes and a person sitting on their ass in a black hoodie with a beanie on. And if people have sent me this, I apologize, but this is, I also am legally colorblind, okay? For whatever reason, these photos from Simone jumped off the screen to me. We also showed how odd it is that the police officers look like they're up to the knee or the hip bone of some of these kids. I did do an additional slide with a filter on it. Look at that. That's the original. This is the filter. This is weird. My guy over here to the right shrunk down to the size of an elf. How is that even possible? Like, there's Brett Payne short. That's like, that's manipulated. I mean, so what's going on here? There's clearly something that's happening, because that doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's Wizard of Oz short. I agree. Is this just pure camera manipulation right now, everybody? Can somebody tell me how this dude shrunk? This is ridiculous. I mean, look at that. That's insane. All right, we've all seen this tip. All right, we've seen this document. I'm going to read what's highlighted in yellow out loud for everybody. This was deemed not credible. The reason why I'm doing this is we had a caller for the Hive Mind Roundtable, Bourbon Santa. It's not that there aren't people aware of this theory. I know Pavarotti has talked about it. We've talked about it. A handful of others have talked about it. There's threads on Reddit about it. But there was also a lot of people that are like, wait, hang on. What car accident? Why did somebody go to the hospital? What are you talking about? The FBI got involved because injuries didn't match, and it could have been in relation to the Idaho 4. Well, this is a report that comes from allegedly Farley. Okay, but I'm going to read the highlighted part. Actually, I'll read the whole thing. Blank is an Idaho State Correctional Institution inmate and was interviewed by Federal Bureau of Investigation Special Agent Ryan O'Neill. Blank made numerous claims during the interview about the circumstances surrounding the murders and who was involved. Now it's alleged that this is Farley. He stated the house where the murders took place was a location where he provided, quote, security to individuals who delivered unknown items to the house. He stated he did not know what they were delivering, but understood that what they were doing was illegal. Farley allegedly referenced several individuals by nicknames, but did not know any full legal names. His main associates were blank and blank. It goes on to say, and this is the important part, on one of their trips, blank stated they were leaving Lewiston and heading for Moscow when a car crash happened in front of them. He stated the driver was ejected through the front windshield, but survived. He stated he stopped at the crash and waited for police to arrive, spoke to them briefly, and then continued to Moscow. He stated this happened at 3 a.m, exactly 30 days before the murders. The murders occurred on November 13th of 2022, which by his statement would mean the accident occurred on October 13th of 2022. I searched the Idaho State Police District 2 calls from this date, and I did not locate any crashes that matched his description. I then contacted the Nez Perce County Sheriff's Department and requested they check to see if Sheriff's Department or Lewiston Police Department, LPD, responded to any crashes on this date which matched his description. They could find no records of the Sheriff's Department for LPD responding to a crash matching the description. I requested they expand the search to October 12th through the 14th of 2022 and did still not find any matches. Blank stated he was later punished by blank for stopping at the scene of the crash. He stated that blank broke both of his feet. Now, this is alleged to be Nicholas Mowich. He stated he was in jail from October 28th, 2022 through December 9th, 2022 in both Spokane County and Kootenai County, so on and so forth. Okay. At the end of the day, this was deemed not credible. Here is something that is confusing to me. This is an article. It's still up to this day on the Idaho State Police's website. Here's a police news release. District 1, Patrol 615, West Wilbur Avenue, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Phone number, fax number. Here's what's interesting. This talks about District 2. This says District 1. Now, this article, like I said, you can, there's the link. It exists, okay? So for the sake of the stream, I just screenshotted it. But this is as of like 4 hours ago, okay? This says District 1. This says District 2. For immediate release, what date is that? For immediate release, August 13th of 2022 at 4:10 a.m. But then it says on October 14th of 2022 at approximately 3:51 a.m. So Farley probably didn't account for the fact that there was 31 days in October. That's why he said 30 days. But it still doesn't explain why expanding the search wouldn't find it. But this says August 13th. So my question is this. Is it dated wrong on accident? How do you forget? Like, how does this happen? So I'll go on to read this. It says, and this is to corroborate this tip that's deemed not credible. On October 14th at approximately 3:51 a.m., Idaho State Police responded to a two-vehicle head-on collision northbound on US 95 near milepost 314, Nez Perce County, Idaho. A black 2013 Chevy Impala was traveling northbound on US 95 314. A yellow 2001 Ford Escape was traveling southbound in the northbound lanes on US 95 near milepost 314. The Chevy attempted to avoid a collision but was unable to do so. The Ford struck the Chevy head-on. Both drivers were transported by ground ambulance with injuries to a local hospital. The driver of the Ford was not wearing a seatbelt. The driver of the Chevy was wearing a seatbelt. The cause of the crash is under investigation by the ISP. ISP would like to thank Nez Perce County Sheriff's Office, Lewiston Police Department, and Lewiston Fire Department for their assistance on the scene. Go back to this. The driver was ejected through the front windshield. The driver of the Ford was not wearing a seatbelt in a head-on collision. October 14th, and it still didn't come up. Make that make sense. But then you look up here, and it says August 13th. October 14th, 2022, head-on collision near milepost 314. Milepost 314. Same county. Two-vehicle crash, 3:51 a.m., 2001 Ford, 3:51, Ford, head-on collision. Oh, Chevy Impala. Both drivers were injured and transferred to a local hospital by ambulance. The driver of the Ford was not wearing a seatbelt. And the driver was ejected through the front windshield. So Rafael Penguin, I love this comment. I genuinely, I'm being very nice when I say this. Okay. There's zero chance that it's dated wrong. Insurance will need the correct information. It has to be accurate. Guys, that is in the confines of like the matrix of what normal civilians have to play within. And in general, I'm glad you said this because that's one of the biggest things that people have to get through their head. Yeah, you and me and everybody in here, they need accurate information. Guys, when you're playing with the feds, when you're playing with national security, they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. So I'm saying that out of respect and nicely. The reason why the immediate release date at a different time is changed and nothing in the report is because I bet that this is filled out on like a jot form or some sort of software where the program goes off of immediate release time and date when searched to find initial documents. So if they change this, you know what I mean? And Sherlock, I know you're in here. I was about to say 4:10 a.m. to 3:51. If that would have ended up being the 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 26-second delta, I would have literally shit a golden chicken. Yeah, and so misbit comfort zone for people that are bringing up Pop. Guys, first of all, Jesus H, do you think that everybody in the world watches other creators and all that? Like, I'm aware. I just said that too. I said there's people like Pav that have talked about this. Who's talked about Mowich. Who's talked about, we had callers talk about it being Bourbon Santa. I don't know about you guys. I'm pretty damn tired of people not understanding what actually happened in the Idaho 4 that I could give no less of a about who said this first. And I don't think Pav would care. I wouldn't care. Anybody that's really about this wouldn't care unless they have other intentions. Maybe that's going to start to become more prominent. Who cares who said it first? Give me a break. I don't give a damn. They did great. He did a great job. He did a great job finding this. Rather than leaving everybody confused, I'm just going to really take 10 minutes here and I'm going to say, here's the document. Here's what corroborates it from the ISP that it's legit, like as far as a crash. Here's the coordinates. It is what it is. Is everybody who's a creator? I hate that word too. It's so stupid. Is everybody who's looking into this, is it off limits? Because somebody else got in front of a camera and said it first. I'm not calling out the person whose comment was on the screen.
Next topic was T-A-L-B-O-T-T. And Payne Morris.
T-I-L?
T-A-L-B-O-T-T.
Right there, that's Detective Talbot. Nice to meet you.
5-7-171.
Any music back right now?
I think Sarge finished.
Okay, hold on, no worries.
And 17. Or interest 1700.
Okay, look at this. I died. I literally died. See if you can see what's going on and what these two don't do. So that's Officer Corbin Smith. Now you guys go back to the PCA. Ready? You got the PCA in
What do you guys notice about our boy Payne here?
front of you. And the PCA said that Officer Corbin Smith walked Officer Blaker and Officer Payne through the house. Okay? That did not happen. Officer Smith, now watch. Talbot is right in front of us, directly in the middle. Officer Smith's the first one over here to the right, and there's Payne.
Oh, the older broken.
3 coming in.
These two dudes, Moscow Police Department, Officer Smith, Officer Payne here, literally stood and watched this man put on booties. Payne watches CSI Talbot put on booties, and same with Corbin Smith. They watch him. They're waiting. They don't put on any booties.
So he came in, cleared this out. This is where the 2 took refuge.
Okay, so Payne didn't have a body cam.
Now guess who's making her way to the door? None other than the woman of the hour. No gloves, no TAs, no problem. Ashley Jennings, come on down, girl.
Nice well. I'll just yell at Brett.
Let's go back. Let's get a good screenshot of this chick here before they scroll.
I'll just yell at Brett.
There's our girl. We see ya, Miss Jennings.
No gloves, no problem.
You want to throw that cap? Yes.
Hey, Brett. Yeah. Ashley wants to tag on your first walkthrough. Oh, hold on.
There you go.
Okay, you can mark your back out at the same time.
Correct.
Thank you.
Roger Lanier walked her up.
Yes, sir.
How are you guys doing personnel-wise?
So what that said is,
Yeah, before the coroner, I'm probably not the only person to think this as of late, especially the last few weeks. I don't think that this was a murder of rage. Like, depending on what lens you look through, I think this is a very surgical hit. You can go down both paths, and we have, but my gut tells me this was a very, very surgical hit. Look at the house. Look at the house. You could say, oh, there's a cleanup. Okay. We're talking about 4 people, and you've seen their autopsies. Cleaning that up in 8 hours is insane. Prosecutors show up on crime scenes. Yes. This quickly, you do realize that, according to the documents, Blaker hasn't even talked to Dylan yet officially and is already saying that Dylan's timeline is better than Bethany's. Ashley Jennings is there immediately. No. I think it's because that house was already on the radar for something, whether it's a confidential informant, whether there's some other federal case going on, and there's a giant risk because something or someone in that house is about to get exposed. She's there to manage some sort of narrative construction. She's going to be advising the local cops what to seal off, what to redact, what to not say. Not redact, that's the wrong word. Like, what are you going to log? What are you going to not? Let's identify who these protected people are. In my opinion, is why Ashley's there. Ashley's there to confirm and identify who the protected people are and coordinate a legal strategy to continue to maintain the protected status and not let it get out.